We all experience it. The deep, soul-wrenching pull of attachment. The ache in our hearts when we know that a relationship, once full of love and promise, has reached its end. It is as though you are standing on the edge of a precipice, looking into the abyss, afraid to take the leap, afraid of what letting go might cost. You feel the weight of the decision, the uncertainty, the sadness, the fear of losing a part of yourself. Yet, in the stillness of that moment, when you look deeply within, you begin to understand that the true cost is not in letting go. It's in holding on. And when you decide to release someone from your life, to free them and yourself from the chains that bind you, something incredible happens. Not just emotionally, but spiritually. As Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And sometimes, becoming who you truly are means letting go of what no longer serves you. The decision to let go of someone is not just an emotional release. It is a spiritual one. One that carries with it the power to transform you at the deepest level of your being. When we hold onto someone too tightly, we become trapped by the past. We continue to live in the echoes of who they were or who we once were together. We become so entwined in the energy of that connection that we lose sight of who we are outside of it. The relationship, the attachment, the history, it begins to define us. But according to Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. And how many of us remain trapped in relationships out of unconscious fear, out of the belief that we must hold on to what we have, no matter how it hurts, no matter how it holds us back. Letting go is a spiritual act of becoming aware of what is no longer in alignment with our true selves. It is a conscious decision to break free from the unconscious patterns that have kept us stuck, stagnant, and afraid. It is a decision to release the energy that no longer serves us and to reclaim our own power. When you let go of someone, you are not just letting go of the physical person. You are letting go of the emotional and energetic attachment that binds you. You are releasing the projections, the expectations, the dreams, and the fantasies you once had. You are unshackling yourself from the past so that you can step into the fullness of your own being, unencumbered by old wounds and limitations. Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." When we are in relationships, especially those that have become painful or toxic, we often begin to lose sight of ourselves. We mold ourselves to fit the other person's expectations, or we cling to the idea of what the relationship could be instead of what it truly is. But when we decide to let someone go, we choose to accept ourselves fully. We choose to embrace the truth of who we are, independent of anyone else's presence or approval. This act of letting go is deeply spiritual because it asks us to trust in something greater than ourselves. It asks us to surrender to the unknown, to trust that the universe has a plan for us, and that we are always being guided toward our highest good. We are letting go of the illusion that we are incomplete without the other person. We are choosing to trust that we are whole just as we are. When you release someone from your life, you release them energetically. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist, persists." And how many of us hold on to relationships because we fear the pain of letting go, only to find that the pain continues to linger, continuing to drain us spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. By resisting the natural ebb and flow of life, by holding on to what is no longer meant for us, we perpetuate the cycle of suffering. We keep our hearts tethered to the past, unable to move forward into the fullness of our potential. Letting go is an act of release, a release of the emotional ties that bind us. It's not that we stop caring about the person. It's that we stop allowing their energy to dictate our lives. We stop allowing the past to hold us captive. We stop giving our power away. In the depths of this letting go, there is a purification process that takes place. We are shedding old skin, letting go of old patterns, and making room for new growth. As Jung once said, "The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable." And the imagination, the spirit within us, is always evolving, calls us toward new experiences, new relationships, and new ways of being that are in alignment with who we are becoming. But in order to hear that call, we must let go of what we've been holding onto out of fear or habit. When you choose to let someone go, you make space in your heart, in your soul, and in your life for something new. It may be a new relationship, a new purpose, a deeper connection to your own inner self, or even a greater connection to the divine. But what is certain is that something new is waiting for you, something greater than you could ever have imagined while you were holding on to the past. But here's the thing. Letting go is not about erasing the person from your heart. It's about transforming the way you hold them in your heart. It's about recognizing that love is not about possession. Love is not about clinging, about needing, about trying to control. Love, in its truest form, is about freedom. It is about allowing the other person to be who they are, without the burden of expectation or obligation. It is about offering love without trying to hold on to it, without making it conditional. When you let go, you allow the other person to walk their own path and you walk yours. You trust that love will find its way, whether or not you are physically together. And in doing so, you honor both their journey and your own. As Carl Jung wisely said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Letting go is an acknowledgement that transformation has taken place, and that the relationship in its previous form is no longer serving its purpose in your life. Letting go is also an act of forgiveness, not just of the other person but of yourself. How many of us have held on to guilt, regret, or shame because of how a relationship ended? How many of us have blamed ourselves for not being enough, for not doing more, for not being better? But forgiveness is a spiritual practice that allows us to release these heavy emotions and set ourselves free. Forgiveness is not about condoning someone's actions. It's about releasing the hold that those actions have on our hearts. As Jung said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Forgiving yourself for holding on too long, for staying in something that no longer served you, is part of that spiritual liberation. When you forgive yourself, you free yourself. You stop carrying the weight of past mistakes, past hurt, past attachments, and you step into a space of healing. You are able to embrace the truth that you are worthy of love, peace, and joy, not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. This process of letting go, of releasing someone from your life, is not just about creating space in your emotional world. It is about creating space for your soul to expand. It is a spiritual act of trust. You are trusting that the universe has a plan for you, that you are always being guided toward the people, the experiences, and the lessons that will help you become the person you are meant to be. And when you let go, you create space for that guidance to enter. You create space for new experiences to unfold, for new people to come into your life. People who are in alignment with your highest good, who will support you on your journey, not weigh you down. Letting go spiritually is the ultimate act of self-love. It is the recognition that you are worthy of a life that aligns with your soul's purpose, that you are deserving of peace, of joy, and of love that is free from attachment and control. It is the realization that true love, true freedom, and true happiness come not from holding on, but from releasing both the other person and the parts of yourself that no longer serve your highest potential. As Carl Jung said, the unconscious is a great source of wisdom. When you decide to let go of someone, you are tapping into that wisdom. You are trusting in the guidance of your inner self, in the voice of your soul, which knows what is best for you. You are choosing to follow your path, even when the road ahead is uncertain, because you know that on the other side of release lies a deeper, more authentic connection to yourself and to the divine. So let go. Let go of the fear, let go of the guilt, let go of the attachment. Let go of the past, and embrace the infinite possibilities that await you. Trust in the wisdom of your soul, trust in the flow of life, and trust in the love that is always surrounding you. When you let go, you are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. Letting go is not a single, fleeting decision. It is a process, a deep, sacred unfolding of your spirit. Each moment you choose to release, you choose to rise. And while it may feel as though you are losing something of great value, the truth is that you are gaining something infinitely more precious, your own freedom. The spiritual growth that happens when you decide to let go of someone goes beyond the immediate emotional relief. It transcends the moments of pain, the lingering ache, and the grief. It is an initiation into a new way of being, one that is less dependent on external validation and more attuned to the quiet wisdom that resides within you. The more you release, the more you open up to the life you were meant to live. Carl Jung understood the delicate balance between holding on and letting go, the tension between attachment and freedom. In his work, he often spoke of the need to reconcile the conscious and unconscious parts of our psyche, an ongoing process of individuation where we move toward becoming our most authentic selves. He said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. To become who you truly are, you must let go of the personas, the roles, and the attachments that you've clung to out of fear or habit." How often do we define ourselves by our relationships, by the roles we play for others? How many of us, consciously or unconsciously, lose sight of our individual essence because we are so wrapped up in what others think of us, or what we think others expect of us? We forget, in those moments, that we are unique beings with our own gifts, our own journey, and our own truth. When you decide to let go, you reconnect with that truth. You release the need to shape yourself into someone you're not in order to fulfill someone else's vision or expectations. You allow yourself the freedom to step fully into your own life, to embrace your own path. That's not always easy, and it's certainly not painless, but it is a necessary step in your spiritual journey. This act of letting go is not about rejection. It's not about denying the value of what was once shared. It's about honoring the impermanence of life. Nothing, no matter how beautiful, stays the same forever. Every relationship, every experience has a season. Some seasons are long, some are short, but each one has its place in your life, its lessons, and its blessings. When you let go, you honor the season that was and make room for the next phase of your soul's evolution. But letting go doesn't always mean physically distancing yourself from someone. It doesn't always mean severing all ties. It may simply mean letting go of the emotional weight you carry. It means releasing the grip of resentment, of expectations, of the need to control the relationship or its outcome. It means allowing yourself to love freely and openly without the burden of attachment. When you let go spiritually, you begin to heal. And healing, as Jung suggested, is not about returning to who you once were. It is about integration. Taking all of your experiences, the beautiful and the painful, and weaving them into the fabric of your being. You are not defined by the pain you've endured, but by the strength and wisdom you have gained through it. Jung once remarked, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Your wounds, the ones you carry from this person, from this relationship, are not signs of weakness. They are places where you are being shaped, molded, and transformed. When you decide to let go, you allow the light to enter those wounds, to heal them, to make them part of your power. Those scars, those broken pieces, will one day be the very things that make you strong. The act of letting go spiritually is deeply connected to the principle of surrender. It is about surrendering to the flow of life, to the natural ebb and flow of relationships, to the unknown. This kind of surrender is not weakness, it is strength. It requires immense courage to let go, to trust that you don't have to control the outcome, to trust that whatever is meant to be will find its way to you. In his work, Jung often spoke about the importance of surrendering to the unconscious mind. He said, "The unconscious is not merely a repository of repressed wishes and memories, but a source of wisdom, creativity, and transformation. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you are making space for the unconscious wisdom to emerge, wisdom that will guide you forward. It is as if you are giving yourself permission to step into a new chapter, one where you are no longer tethered by the past, but are free to write your own story. When we cling to someone or something, we are living in a state of resistance, of tension. But when we let go, we enter a state of grace. We release the fight, we release the struggle, and we trust in the natural rhythms of life. This does not mean that pain will not come, that sorrow will not arise. It means that we are no longer fighting against the flow. We are not resisting what is meant to be. Instead, we are aligning ourselves with it, trusting that we are always in the right place at the right time, even when it feels like we are lost. Letting go is also an invitation to return to yourself. It is a return to your center, to the quiet, unshakable truth of who you are. You have within you everything you need to navigate life's storms. Jung often spoke of the need to integrate the shadow, the parts of ourselves that we have repressed or rejected. When you let go, You invite those shadow parts to surface, not to be feared, but to be embraced. These parts are not your enemies. They are teachers. They are your wounds, yes, but they are also the sources of your strength, your resilience, and your growth. And when you embrace your shadow, when you integrate the parts of yourself that were once hidden, you begin to move with grace through life. The person you let go of may have triggered those parts of you, brought out your fears, your insecurities, or your wounds. But as you release them, you release those fears as well. You heal and you become more whole, more authentic. You stop looking to someone else to define you, to complete you, to fill you up. You learn, instead, to source your own power from within. Jung said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." Letting go is the act of looking inside. It is the act of waking up to the truth of who you are, independent of anyone else's influence. You begin to recognize that your worth, your joy, your peace, and your fulfillment come from within. They are not dependent on another person's presence in your life. They are found in the depths of your own soul, in the space that opens up when you choose to release the past and embrace the future. There is a beauty in this release, a power that comes with freeing yourself from the emotional entanglements that once bound you. As you let go, you rise higher. You become lighter, more expansive. You are no longer weighed down by the past, by what could have been, or by what should have been. Instead, you are free to create a future that aligns with your truest self. So I urge you, don't fear the letting go. Don't resist the natural flow of your life. Trust in the wisdom of your soul, trust in the guidance of the universe, and trust that when you release, you are opening yourself to a life far greater than you ever could have imagined. Embrace this act of surrender, this act of courage, and know that in the process, you are becoming more of who you were always meant to be. Let go, and let your spirit soar. When you let go, you are not just releasing someone from your life. You are releasing yourself from the prison of fear, of attachment, and of what-ifs. The energy that you once gave to the relationship, the mental and emotional space you occupied by constantly thinking about the person, is now free to be used for your own growth, healing, and transformation. You are reclaiming the precious life force that was once drained by holding on. In the spiritual realm, this release holds an extraordinary power because it aligns you with the flow of the universe. The universe, in its wisdom, understands that there are times to hold on and times to let go. It is in this ebb and flow that we truly learn to trust, to be fully present in the moment, and to understand that the true essence of life is not in the clinging, but in the letting go. The act of letting go is an acknowledgement that we trust that there is a greater plan unfolding in our lives. It is an act of surrender, but not one of passivity. It is an active, conscious choice to trust in the unseen forces that are always working on our behalf, even when we cannot see the full picture. Carl Jung once wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." When you let go of someone, you may face darkness, uncertainty, and fear. But it is in that very darkness, in the unknown, that you encounter the parts of yourself that need healing. These are the places where the light of self-awareness begins to shine. The uncertainty and the discomfort that arise are not signs of failure, but rather opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and integration. In letting go, you allow the shadow, the part of you that carries your deepest fears, pains, and unhealed wounds, to come to the surface. And when you face it, when you make it conscious, you reclaim the power that was once lost in the darkness. It is also important to understand that letting go is not about abandoning love. Love, at its core, is not bound by physical presence or control. True love is expansive, unconditional, and liberating. It allows for growth both in the other person and in yourself. Love is not about ownership, it is about freedom. And when you let go, you free both yourself and the other person to be who you are meant to be. This is not a rejection of the love shared, but an affirmation of your mutual journey toward greater wholeness. Carl Jung once said, "Love is a friendship set to music. Music doesn't need to be forced. It flows naturally. It can change, evolve, and adapt with time. When you let go, You acknowledge that the music of your connection may have reached its final verse. But it doesn't mean that the song itself is over. It simply means the melody has shifted, and it's time for a new song to begin. We often believe that letting go means we are somehow failing in our relationships or abandoning something of value. But the truth is, letting go is an act of immense strength. It requires courage to face the truth, to accept the impermanence of life, and to allow yourself to release what no longer aligns with your highest self. Carl Jung said, "The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it." This is the essence of spiritual maturity, the ability to let go of what no longer serves you, even when it's difficult. It is the ability to let go of attachments to people, places, and things that you have once held dear, and to trust that in doing so, you are making room for the new experiences, relationships, and wisdom that will guide you forward. In moments of letting go, there can be a powerful realization. You are not losing anything of true value. You are simply releasing what was never truly yours to begin with. Relationships are not about ownership or control. They are about the exchange of energy, of love, and of shared experiences. When one chapter ends, another begins. Letting go of someone spiritually is about recognizing that all relationships are fluid, dynamic, and ever-changing. The love and connection you shared with this person will remain a part of you, woven into the fabric of your being, but it no longer has to define your future. Every time you let go, you take a step closer to self-realization. Carl Jung described the process of individuation as a journey of becoming the most complete and whole version of yourself. When you let go of someone, you allow yourself the space to deepen into this journey. You allow yourself to become more fully you. Letting go allows you to shed layers of dependency, of insecurity, of fear, and of emotional baggage. As you release these burdens, you step into your own authentic power. You become free of the external influences that once dictated how you thought and felt. You return to your own center. And yes, in the beginning, it can feel terrifying. It can feel like you're standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure of what comes next. You might feel the echoes of loneliness, doubt, or confusion, but understand that these feelings are natural. They are part of the process of transformation. They are the emotional residue of an old version of yourself. And while they may be painful, they are not permanent. They will fade as you grow stronger in your own sense of self, as you learn to trust in the unfolding of your own path. Jung also spoke about the concept of the self as a unified whole, the culmination of our conscious and unconscious selves. When you let go, you are embracing the fullness of yourself. You are no longer fragmented or defined by your relationships, but instead you are centered in your true essence. As you release external attachments, you make space for your own divine light to shine. You become less concerned with seeking validation from others and more attuned to the quiet, intuitive knowing that arises from within. It is a state of being where you no longer feel the need to prove your worth through external means. You simply are. Letting go also brings an unparalleled sense of peace. There is a calm that emerges when you finally allow yourself to release the burdens of the past, of people who no longer serve your highest good. The peace that comes with letting go is not the absence of emotion. It is the acceptance of your emotions, of the impermanence of life, and of your ability to create your own happiness. It is the deep knowing that you do not need someone else to make you complete. You are already complete as you are. As you release, you return to the present moment. You stop dwelling on the past, stop worrying about the future, and instead focus on the here and now. It is only in the present moment that true healing can take place. When you let go, you allow yourself to experience the present in its fullness, without the weight of the past pulling you backward or the anxiety of the future pushing you forward. You are free to simply be. Jung's wisdom also reminds us that we are not alone in this journey. The universe, our higher self, the divine, is always there, supporting us through every transition, every release. When we choose to let go, we align ourselves with the universal flow of life, and we trust that there is a higher plan unfolding for us. We are not abandoned in this process. We are guided, held, and supported by the unseen forces that are always working to bring us into alignment with our greatest potential. So let go. Let go of the need to control, to possess, to cling. Let go of the fear of change, the fear of loss, and the fear of the unknown. Trust in the journey, trust in your own ability to heal, and trust in the power of the universe to bring what is meant for you. As you let go, you are not losing anything, you are gaining everything. You are gaining the freedom to be your truest self, to walk your path with confidence and clarity. And in doing so, you create the space for a life that is filled with love, peace, and fulfillment beyond what you ever could have imagined. As you let go, you begin to understand something fundamental about the nature of life itself. Everything is in constant flux. The seasons change, the tides ebb and flow, relationships come and go, and so too do we evolve, shift, and grow. It's in the letting go that you come to realize that nothing is permanent, and that's where the beauty of life lies. The impermanence of it all frees us, for in that understanding we release the need to control or cling to any one thing. This realization, while it may initially cause discomfort, is ultimately liberating. It's in the surrender to life's ebb and flow that we experience true spiritual freedom. Carl Jung once wrote, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Letting go is a conscious choice to shape who you are from this point forward, rather than being shaped by the past or by external influences. It's a choice to rise, to evolve, and to trust that you have the strength to move forward into whatever is next, even if the path is unclear at first. When you make the spiritual decision to let go, you acknowledge that you are not bound by your past, not even by the person who was once so integral to your life. This acknowledgement frees you from the narrative that may have held you captive for so long. That story, the one that tied you to someone else, is no longer your truth. Your truth is written in the present, in the choices you make today, and in the steps you take to honor your own soul's path. The act of letting go is an embodiment of trust, a trust that the universe, life, and your own higher self are guiding you to exactly where you need to be. You may not always understand the purpose behind the struggle or the release, but if you learn to trust in the process, in the sacred rhythm of life, you will come to see that every experience is part of a grander design. It may take time, perhaps years, for you to understand the spiritual significance of the letting go, but trust that it is part of your unfolding, your individuation, your becoming. This is where the true spiritual journey begins, not in the clinging or the holding on, but in the releasing and the surrender. It's in this place of surrender that you find a deep sense of peace that is unshakable. When you let go of someone, you let go of the fear, the pain, the expectations, and the what-ifs that you have been carrying. It's as if a weight has been lifted from your shoulders. There's a lightness, a softness that envelopes you, and in that space, you begin to hear your own voice more clearly. You reconnect with yourself in a way that is profound and transformative. As you let go, you may encounter moments of vulnerability. The fear of loneliness may creep in, and you may feel as though you've been abandoned, or that you are losing something irreplaceable. But in these moments, remember that you are not losing yourself. You are returning to yourself. You are shedding the parts of you that were tied up in someone else's narrative, and you are rediscovering who you are without them. Carl Jung spoke about the importance of encountering the other being the aspects of ourselves that we have yet to discover or integrate. When you let go, you are opening yourself up to this deeper encounter with the parts of you that were hidden, the parts that have been waiting for your attention, your love, and your awareness. The pain that comes from letting go is real. There is no denying the emotional upheaval that arises from the act of release. But this pain is not something to be feared. It is part of the healing process. The deeper the attachment, the deeper the wound. And it is in facing this wound, in acknowledging and embracing the pain, that you make space for healing. Healing doesn't happen when we resist pain or bury it beneath layers of avoidance or distraction. Healing happens when we allow ourselves to feel, to experience, and to move through the emotions without judgment. Jung's concept of individuation was rooted in this idea, integrating all parts of ourselves, even the painful ones, into our whole being. Letting go is a deeply healing process because it forces you to confront what you have been avoiding and allows you to release the emotional burden you've been carrying. In this process of releasing, you also make way for new connections to form. The space you create by letting go is not empty, it is fertile ground for new growth. When you let go of someone or something, you create room for new opportunities, new people, and new experiences to come into your life. These new connections will meet you at a higher level because you are now a more whole and authentic version of yourself. And when you meet people from this place of wholeness, you attract relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared growth. You no longer attract relationships that drain you or keep you stuck. You attract those that uplift you, that challenge you, that help you grow. This is the beautiful paradox of letting go. While it may feel like you are losing something, you are actually gaining everything. You gain your peace, your strength, your freedom. You gain the ability to love yourself without needing anyone else to validate your worth. You gain the capacity to trust that everything you need is already within you. And you gain the clarity to see your life's path with a newfound vision, one that is no longer clouded by attachment, but clear and open to the flow of the universe. Letting go is also a way to honor the soul's journey. Your soul is not here to be bound by the expectations or limitations that others may place upon you. Your soul is on a journey of self-expression, of becoming the fullest version of itself. Every person you meet, every relationship you form, is meant to teach you something. And sometimes the lesson is that it's time to let go. It's time to release what no longer serves you so that you can step into a higher version of yourself. And in that release, you align more deeply with the flow of your soul's purpose. Jung believed that we are all part of a greater whole, that our individual lives are interconnected with the collective unconscious. When you let go, you are not only freeing yourself but also contributing to the greater healing of the world. Your ability to release attachments, to honor your own soul's growth, and to trust the process is a gift to those around you. By becoming more whole, you create a ripple effect of healing and transformation. You inspire others to let go, to trust, and to move forward in their own journeys. In this way, your decision to release becomes an act of collective empowerment, as you model the power of surrender and trust for others. So, as you continue on your journey of letting go, remember that it is a sacred act. You are not only releasing a person or a situation, you are releasing the parts of yourself that are ready to evolve. You are stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. You are aligning with the wisdom of the universe, with the flow of life itself. Trust that as you let go, you are making space for something even more beautiful to emerge in your life. Something more in alignment with your soul's true purpose. Jung's words echo in the silence as you release. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. To let go is to accept yourself completely, to accept the parts of you that are still healing, the parts that are still learning, and the parts that are still growing. It is in this acceptance, in this surrender to who you are and who you are becoming, that you find the peace, the love, and the freedom that you've been searching for all along. And so, as you stand at the threshold of letting go, remember that you are not alone. You are supported by the wisdom of your soul, the guidance of the universe, and the deep well of love that resides within you. Let go, and step into the life you were always meant to live. Let go, and as you stand in this space of release, you begin to feel the weight lifting from your soul. You may not be able to see the future clearly just yet, but the act of letting go frees you to walk forward with a new sense of openness. In this moment, you are no longer held captive by the past, nor are you waiting anxiously for the future to unfold. You are here in the present moment, where true healing and transformation take place. The beauty of letting go is that it offers you the chance to reclaim your power that is inherently yours but may have been overshadowed by the attachment to someone or something that no longer serves your highest good. For too long, you may have placed your power outside yourself, thinking it resided in someone else's love, approval, or presence. But as you release, you remember the truth. Your power comes from within. It has always been there, waiting for you to recognize it, to trust it, and to allow it to guide you forward. Carl Jung's profound understanding of the psyche reminds us that the act of letting go is an integral part of our journey of individuation. Jung believed that for a person to become whole, they must embrace their full spectrum of being, both light and shadow. Letting go is not a rejection of the other, but an acceptance of oneself. It's about acknowledging that you are not defined by the people in your life, but by the choices you make, the energy you cultivate, and the life you choose to create. As you let go, you start to become the author of your own story. You stop letting external forces dictate your worth, and instead build a life that is rich with meaning, joy, and authenticity. This is why letting go is so powerful. It gives you permission to step into your own narrative, one that is untethered by the past and filled with endless possibility. The moment you release, you free yourself from the chains of dependency and open up the space to truly discover who you are. You are no longer living in reaction to someone else's presence or absence. You begin living in response to your own inner calling. Letting go is not just a spiritual act. It is an energetic shift. The energy you once spent in clinging and hoping and grieving now returns to you. And this energy can be used to transform your life in ways you may not even yet comprehend. Every ounce of energy that was once tied to a person or a situation that no longer aligns with your growth is now available to fuel your passions, your creativity, and your sense of purpose. You are free to invest in your own dreams, to explore the depths of your own heart, and to cultivate relationships that are mutually nourishing. In the process of releasing, you rediscover the power of your own presence. You reconnect with your soul's purpose, that deep, unshakable calling that resides within you. This calling was never dependent on someone else's actions or choices. It was always there, waiting for you to acknowledge it, to act upon it. Letting go clears the space for you to listen more intently, to hear the whispers of your heart and soul. It invites you to return to a state of trust, a trust in your own intuition, in your inner wisdom, and in the subtle guidance that is always available to you. Carl Jung's teachings also remind us that true healing occurs when we confront the parts of ourselves that we have been avoiding. The decision to let go forces you to face the uncomfortable emotions, the unresolved wounds, and the fears that have been hiding in the shadows. This is where the real work begins. By releasing someone, you open yourself up to the opportunity for deep emotional healing. You are no longer running from the pain. Instead, you are embracing it, sitting with it, and allowing it to transform you. The more you embrace this healing process, the more you begin to understand that pain is not something to be feared. Pain is a teacher. It is an invitation to delve deeper into your soul's journey. Every time you allow yourself to feel the rawness of your emotions, whether it's sadness, anger, or grief, you are making space for healing and growth. In this space, you cultivate compassion for yourself and for others. You begin to see that everyone, including yourself, is on their own journey of healing, and sometimes that journey requires release. In this release, you may even begin to feel gratitude for the person you let go of. This doesn't mean you condone their actions or that you wish to bring them back into your life. Rather, you come to appreciate the lessons they brought to you, the lessons that pushed you to evolve, to grow, and to become more attuned to your own worth. You recognize that they, too, were part of your journey. And as you let them go, you thank them in your heart for the role they played in your life's unfolding. You see that nothing is ever wasted, and even in the most painful experiences, there is growth. Letting go also brings clarity. It is as if a fog has lifted from your mind and heart. You no longer have to carry the weight of what could have been or what might have been. You stop looking back in regret or longing and instead face forward, toward the future. The future is filled with endless potential, and every step you take from here forward is one of self-discovery and creation. You are no longer tethered to the past or to anyone else's expectations. You are free to create the life that you were always meant to live. As you release, you may notice a shift in your perception of love itself. Love, in its truest form, is not about possession, control, or dependency. It is about freedom, respect, and mutual growth. When you let go of someone, you are not rejecting love. You are acknowledging that love, in its highest form, allows both people to grow, to evolve, and to become more fully themselves. You are giving yourself and the other person the space to do so. Love is not a force that binds us. It is a force that liberates us, that allows us to express who we truly are without fear or constraint. There is also a quiet wisdom that emerges in the process of letting go. You begin to understand that the universe has a way of guiding you exactly where you need to be, even if the path is not always clear. Letting go is an act of surrender to this divine wisdom. It's a trust that, as you release, something better is being made ready for you, something more aligned with your highest good. The universe, or whatever you believe in, works in mysterious ways, but you learn to trust that every release is part of a greater plan. And so, as you continue this journey of letting go, let it be an act of self-love, self-respect, and trust. Let it be an act of courage. With each release, you free yourself from the past, from limitations, from fears, and from attachments that no longer serve you. With each release, you step closer to the fullness of your own being, and in doing so, you become more aligned with your soul's purpose. You become more whole, more authentic, and more alive. You are walking a path that, though uncertain at times, is rich with possibilities. The more you let go, the more you step into the abundant life that is waiting for you. You are not bound by what was, but you are free to create what will be. And in this freedom, you discover the true power that has always been within you. The power to choose, to grow, to love, and to live in alignment with your most authentic self. So, continue to let go. Continue to trust. Continue to walk your path with faith and courage. Every step you take, every release, brings you closer to the incredible person you are becoming. You are, and always will be, worthy of the love, peace, and fulfillment that awaits you.